Hey, this is Mikey with another After Effects tutorial, and in this video I'm going to show you 4 tips to make better templates. Now, whether or not you are into template making, I'm sure there's some great things you can learn from this, so let's take these one at a time. So the first tip is to pre-comp pretty much everything, but specifically pre-comping the logo. So in this example, let me actually just bring this down to a lower resolution so it can stream faster. I've got this logo and I've got this animation. You know, it flies in, you can see the reflection, and then it slides down. Now what I've done is I completely pre-comped the logo, so I can come in here and I've actually put in this line here. This is where the line of the reflection is, and so I know I need my logo to be right there. And I can come in and I can swap out this logo and put in a different logo, and then when I come back, everything will be all updated with that new logo. So that is because I had a pre-comp, and instead of doing all the animations on the logo itself, I did it on that composition, and then I can swap it out. And so that's the first tip when creating templates, is to pre-comp the logo, or really any element that you want to be able to swap out. Tip number 2 is using control nulls. So here's an example. I've got this animation here, and then the words control null come in. But I want to be able to easily go in and change these colors here. And the way to do that is with a control null. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go to Layer, New, Null Object. We can go ahead and hide that. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give it a name. Control Null. And in these shape layers, I can see I've got this fill color on all 3 of these. And I want to attach that fill color to a controller on this null so I can easily get to it, so I don't have to go in here and dial down and twirl down into all these menus to find the color. So let's go back to this control null. Let's go to Effect, Expression Controls, Color Control. I'm going to take this and just duplicate it 3 times. So we got Color Control, Control 2, Control 3. And so what I can do is I can take this right here, and I'm going to pick whip, and how to do that is opening up the expression. So I'm going to hold down Option or Alt on the keyboard, click on the stopwatch, and I'm going to grab, actually I need a little bit more room, and I need to open it up down in the timeline. Okay, now I've got this. I'm going to use the pick whip, which is right here, grab that color, and let's do this for all 3. Now what it's done is it's made them all the same color, because all of these controllers were the same color, but I can come in here and now I can change this to whatever color I want. And so when I come in here to this and preview this, those are now those 3 colors. And you'll want to label them right, so this one will be end color. The blue one will be the middle, and this one will be the beginning. And I can rearrange these so they're in the right order. But what I've done now is I can easily go in and change these, and this is just on this control null, and it's not going to affect any of the rest of the composition. So that's tip number 2, is using a control null. Tip number 3 is using a control comp. And it's a little bit different. What I built here is this whole composition where I can come in and switch out this text. And what this is if I come in here, text 1, text 2, text 3. Oh, that's actually, they both say text 3. Let me fix that. Okay. So if I come in here to control right here, text 2, let's change this to for the win and baby. And what I can do is now when I go back in here, it's updated the text in this composition. So if I have nested compositions within compositions and I've got text layers that are buried deep into my template, it's nice to have a control composition, a control comp, where it's just one spot where I can go to and have all of these things. I can even have my control null in this composition as well, so I can just come in here. It's the one place where I can go and change all the settings. Now, how to set this up is really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this layer here and I'm going to put it on a new window. So I can see this timeline and I can see this timeline down here. And so I've got these three text layers. And let's just show you one of them. So this one right there that says baby, and I'm going to go into the text source and I've got a link to it. And I'm going to unlink it right now just so you can see. And let's come into this and let's change it to something else. Back to control null. And so I'm going to link this. And so let's come up to this top one and let's find the source text. And so I'm just going to pick whip. So option, click on the stopwatch, grab the pick whip, source text to source text up here. And what that does is it's going to bring just the text over it. And it's not going to bring the formatting. It's not going to bring the color or the size of the font or even the font itself. It'll just bring what the words say in that text. And so you can do that and be able to come in here and make all sorts of changes. And it's an easy way, if you've got a really complicated template, to be able to control all the text. So that is number 3, using a control comp. And the fourth one is all about universal expressions. Now this might be a little bit complicated, and I'm going to link to some tutorials and also a product if you don't want to go through the tutorial on how to do this. But let me show you just kind of basically what it is. If I already save this as a template and give it to somebody who used After Effects in a different language, it's not going to work properly. So if we go back over here to this control nulls, and let's look at these expressions. So if I come down here, and let's take a look at this color expression. And it says this comp.layer/control null.effect end color. So what it's done is it's connecting to this end color, and I've created this and I've given it a custom name. Now if I didn't do that, remember before it was just called color, and what would happen is if it's its natural name and I open this up into an After Effects version that's in a different language, it's going to translate the name, but it won't translate it in the expression. And so this expression won't know where to look because the words don't match, because it's a different language. And so in order to universalize something, you got to do a little bit of changes to it. So what you need to do is first you need to give these a custom name. So like I had here, end. And once it's a custom name, let's go in here and change it here. Once it's the custom name, you also need to have this custom, but I can't change this. I can't change that word color. And so if I don't do something, then this is going to be translated to a different word, but it won't be translated in this expression. So since this is the only index, the only option in this expression controller, there's only one of them, then you have to simply just come in here, replace the word color with the number 1, and it still works just fine. I can come in here and change the color and everything works just fine. And when this is used in a different version, a different language of After Effects, it'll connect just fine. So that's the basic of universalizing your expressions. Now, if you want to really dive deep into it, there is a tutorial by Felt Tips right here, writing universal expressions in After Effects, and really good, goes through lots of information here. And I'll give you a link. There's a link just in the description to this video, and you can learn more about it. Really good explanation of why it's important to do this. And if you don't want to go through all the hassle, then there is also a script called Expression Universalizer 2, and it's on AE Scripts. It's a paid script, but if this is something you use and do quite often, then it's well worth it. So those are my 4 tips to make better templates. So let's go over them again. First one, pre-comp, especially your main logo. You're going to thank yourself in the end if you do that. Make sure you pre-comp it before you do any animations on it. Second one is using a control null like we have here, where I was able to, now I can change these colors. Third one is a control comp. I've connected just in this one, just the text to it, but I can have also controllers in here for colors and different things, all sorts of things. If I've got a complicated template where, you know, text is within this comp, within another comp, and it's very deep, and it's nice to be able to get to these up front. And then the last one was to universalize your expressions so they're usable in other language. I hope you learned some great stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.